Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval theme format where I, the Crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you the person who is a couple of hours away from being on holiday for a week, baby! Yes, that's right, I will be away for a week. Hopefully that won't mess up with the Choose Your Own Adventure stuff because we've recorded stuff in advance, but who knows? I will look very tired by the time that I come back because Uncle Jules has got to look after 2 kids under the age of 10. Pray for Mojo. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week, and this week we have none other to thank than...
At any rate, that is what we're going to try to do.
X Incognito for their suggestion of the weirdest, craziest, over-the-top video game crossovers, which I've applied my YouTube magic and come up with the title of 8 video game crossovers that made you say, what? Because time and time again, developers have colluded with other franchises to digitally port their IPs into other games, resulting in a huge jaw drop from fans who never expected to see familiar faces pop up in new locales, or because their mere existence in the game itself is causing all sorts of mind melting. And sometimes crossovers can become such a focal part of the game that they become embedded in that game's main selling point, but needless to say, all of the ones that are on this list, well, they made us say that one resounding word that sums up befuddlement, confusion, disbelief, surprise, and altogether shock. I'm talking about what? As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video game crossovers that made you say what? And you know the drill by now, say hi to me here in the live chat and pop your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below. But with that in mind, let's get on with this list, shall we? Number 8, Pokemon and Dynasty Warriors, Pokemon Conquest. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this a couple of 100 times on this series alone, but I'm quite partial to, what's the word? Oh yeah, knocking officers right into the bloody moon and pretending that I am a god of the 3 kingdoms, aka I love me some Dynasty Warriors. No matter how many times this story is retold, repackaged, and really likes to drag things out now with who to add into the roster next, I will buy each and every Dynasty Warriors game without fail. Yes, even the bad ones. So I can punish my thumbs for the crime of being attached to this stupid body. I even delve into the offshoot games that spawned from dalliances with Gundam, Persona, and The Legend of Zelda, each of which added their own sauce to the meaty steak that was the original DW experience. But here's my problem, fellow nerds. None of these offshoots were mad enough. But then along came a little gem known as Pokemon Conquest. Because this game is utterly mad. This is Dynasty Warriors deciding to strike up the band and Charleston its way over to the good fellows at Game Freak and ask for a dance, because Pokemon Conquest was deliciously nuts. Not only was this a fusing of 2 very, very different IPs, but it also presented a brand new battle system reminiscent of Final Fantasy Tactics, making this a game full of familiar concepts but served up in a totally new way. And the best thing about this fusion is that it's actually legitimately an amazing game. It's got a beautifully realized world, some fantastic characters and their lovely relationships between their cute and cuddly critters that then allow you to take them into battle and utterly obliterate your enemies. I love everything about this game, and so many people have slept on this. Number 7, Star Wars and Fortnite. Fortnite. Whether you love it or loathe it, there is no denying the sheer staying power of Fortnite. Now, this title, despite all of its detractors, still pulls in a daily player count that most game companies could only ever dream of, and with that large audience comes the ability to market the ever-loving piss out of them, which in turn draws the eyes of sponsors and collaborators from all reaches of the globe, leading to a title that quite possibly has the most IP crossovers ever. From God of War to the Avengers to Dragon Ball, Fortnite has seen them all and worked with them all, mostly to great success and great response from the fans. However, there was one crossover that didn't go quite as planned, and by that I mean that it sat in the mouths of many of fans of both Star Wars and Fortnite as being, well, a big old pile of doo-doo. Now, in the lead up to the release of the third film in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, the higher-ups at Fortnite were approached with the idea of promoting the flick in a rather unique way. Here, after completing a special Star Wars event, those watching would learn before anyone else that Darth Sidious, aka Emperor Palpatine, was still alive, with his voice then echoing out across the galaxy. It was a bold move, to say the least, and in fact you could replace bold with absolutely f***ing stupid, because A, you are completely alienating those Star Wars fans who don't play Fortnite, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people who don't play Fortnite, but like Star Wars, those Venn diagrams aren't intersecting in the way that I thought they would either, and B, you're also putting this major movie reveal in bloody Fortnite, a game with no relation to the sci-fi property. Needless to say, things went down about as well as Jango Fett versus Mace Windu. Pretty badly. Number 6, Fire Emblem and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, when you take a step back and look at the almightily swollen roster that is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game, it's very easy to get overwhelmed just because of how many different franchises are coalescing on one point. Each and every time a new player would be announced, fans would have literally no idea what to expect and were summarily blown away again and again, making this title a perpetual wave of what that we just absolutely love to ride. That being said, if there was one point that Sakurai really wanted you to know outside of the fact that he thinks that Kirby is Nintendo's hard man, he's not. It's the fact that he has most definitely heard of the Fire Emblem video game franchise. He has heard of it, and he wants you to know, because he managed to sneak 8 characters into this game. Thanks, mate. Like, we get it, it's a great franchise, but the level of what on show here only grew with each passing drop, to the point that by the time the final Fire Emblem pack was announced, it was met with an eye roll and a headshake from all but the most die-hard of fans. Meaning that it was less of a what and more of a what? What? Number 5, Metal Gear Solid and Ape Escape, Metal Gear Solid. Now, I think that we're all in agreement that when it comes to Hideo Kojima games, especially Metal Gear Solid, that things are a little bit deranged from time to time. You've got your Princess Beach moments, you've got your hour-long cutscenes, you've got your whatever the hell Psycho Mantis and Vamp and pretty much every single character in the game are all about. Your Fat Mans. Hey, Fat Man! Yo, what's up? But there's one thing that got even crazier than all of this, and that's when Logic took an absolute banana peel slide with the introduction of the Ape Escape collaboration with Metal Gear Solid. Now, Metal Gear Solid was a minigame that cropped up in the wonderfully silly Ape Escape 3 title, and while you might assume that it would be a bare-bones riff on the MGS series, it actually included a full campaign complete with a creative twist on the stealth action gameplay of the aforementioned series, and featured the unbelievably cute Peepo Snake as the lead. I want to adopt this, please. I'll take 10. Not only was this a joy to play thanks to how refreshing it was, but it was also a crossover that was echoed in Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater with the Snake vs. Monkey minigame, which sees Snake have his holiday interrupted by the Colonel in order to capture some rogue apes. Now, whomever or whatever was the catalyst behind these amazing crossovers, I thank you from the bottom of my simian heart. In fact, I'm going to do something that only the true apes out there and give the ultimate form of respect. That's for the real ones. That's for the real ones out there. Long story short, I really enjoyed this. Number 4, the entire Dream Mix TV World Fighters roster. So if you thought the likes of Marvel vs. Capcom and the aforementioned Super Smash Bros. Series had pretty interesting and varied rosters, well, you ain't seen nothing yet, because Dream Mix TV Fighters basically kicks open the door to the dining hall and says, "Look who's been invited to dinner! These weirdos." Bomberman, Bloody Roar, Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania, Adventure Island, and even the likes of Transformers all came together in this game to ask each other one simple question. What the hell are we doing here? And this question was asked very aggressively with fists and explosives. If you've ever wanted to have your mind blown by the sight of Megatron being taken down by Tyson from bloody Beyblade, then this is the absolute brain blender for you. And while the roster might appear insignificant to the swollen chops of Smash Bros, the sheer fact that some of these franchises are even getting an outing is huge. Oh, and one more thing. One of the characters you can play as in this game is an Easter Island statue. Okay? Just so we're clear? That this game is insane? Okay, cool. Fine. Bye. The story mode to this title is equally bizarre as well, with the plot revolving around a TV show that is experiencing diminishing returns and so decides to spice things up the only way they know how, by ripping open time and space itself and grabbing fighters from alternate realities to fight to the death for their amusement. I'm not gonna lie, I would actually watch that show. But also, what? Number 3, any video game and food crossover. Now, I think it goes without saying that the most Brechtian moment that you can have when playing video games, aka a moment where you become aware of what you're doing, playing, watching, eating, whatever, is when real-life companies stick their dirty old todger right into the mix and wipe their oily grease all over the place. You're just like, why? This is meant to be escapism. I am not escaping this consumerism. In these moments, we totally detach from our escapism to either cringe into the fetal position or laugh ourselves to death at the sheer absurdity of what we're witnessing. And you know what? It just keeps on happening. Noctis telling us how good cup ramen is. Pizza Hut serving up a slice of pain in Monster Hunter Frontier with a pizza-based weapon. Monster Energy Drink giving the go-ahead for their beverages to turn your piss into bioweapons in Death Stranding. It just seems that you can never escape the grasp of capitalism. Now, while most are derided by audiences as try-hard moments so blunt that it would be like using a flip-flop as a surgical knife, there are actually some crossovers that are just so utterly weird that they become, I don't know, kind of tasty. I mean, take, for example, EverQuest 2, which buddied up with Pizza Hut to offer in-game ads that let you order pies through the game without having to stop play. Now, I know that on paper that sounds like a gross kind of Orwellian Wall-E nightmare sort of thing of just being able to eat, sleep, Pizza Hut, repeat. But at the same time, you kind of had to admire the sheer ballsiness of it, because that is an ad campaign that just goes, mate. Ooh. I'm never going to make that motion again. That has been banned. No one a GIF that. Number 2, Resident Evil and Under the Skin. Under the Skin. Now, I'll tell you what, despite occasionally putting out a stinker from time to time and maybe being a bit too aggressive with microtransactions in some of their games, Capcom, as a publisher, definitely seems the sort that would, I don't know, throw down the pens and pencils and pick up the pints, because it just seems like a bit of a rowdy sort, as the ideas that it brings to the table from time to time, well, they are only the stuff that a pub legend could come up with. Just take a look at all of the incredible crossovers that we got with the likes of Monster Hunter, or Marvel vs. Capcom, or DMC in Beautiful Joe. Yet while many of these are impressive, none of them are weird enough to make you say, what? Which is why I finally get to introduce one of my all-time favourite cult classic PS2 video games, Under the Skin. A title that is so drenched in weird that it's making the sofa that it sat on smell funny. To begin with, the very premise of this title is incredibly odd, with you playing an alien sent to Earth to prank the inhabitants in order to impress those back home. But things get truly bizarre when you reach the Raccoon City level, in which you must now prank a ton of Resident Evil zombies alongside dealing with Jill Valentine and even the bloody Nemesis. To see that horrifying burnt horse tooth face rendered in such a cute cel-shaded sprite is jaw-dropping enough. But when you couple these visuals with the act of pranking zombies, well, you might as well just mail your brain to the moon for how much sense that it makes. Oh, I've lost my brain. Oh, I'm dead. Bye. And number 1, Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. Seriously, that took me about 7 attempts to say the name of this game. Why did they choose such weird names for this? It's dumb. Then they added Encore onto the end of it when it got the Switch port. I'm calm. Let's talk about the crossover. Oh, look who it is, the bloody Fire Emblem franchise once more, here to take up even more gaming space outside of their own franchise. What the hell's going on here? What's that? It's a crossover with Fire Emblem that has barely any Fire Emblem in it. It's about what? Okay, we gotta talk about this. So Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, alongside having a rather stupid name, was originally pitched as being a proper mashup between the ever-popular Shin Megami Tensei series and the ever-present Fire Emblem franchise, and according to sources would have involved time travel with choices made in the past that affect the present. However, what fans got to experience when the game dropped in 2015 was an entirely different beast. And by that, I mean that this game centered on pop idols, with the only lightest waft of recognition given to Fire Emblem as characters in this game adopted the clothing choices and mannerisms of well-known FE characters. This was a veritable baker's dozen of what? just from the plot alone, but was also a bit of a slap in the face for fans expecting something a little more equally weighted in the crossover department, which provided another layer of confusion. Still, with that said, the game was pretty well received with regards to its design and battle system, so yeah, if you want a crossover with minimal crossing over, this game's for you. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video game crossovers that made you say, what? I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below, as well as your suggestions for next week's episode. I love reading them all, and I cannot wait to get back off my holiday and sift through all of your comments and find the juiciest ones to feast on. If you want to chat to me in the meantime, you can go over to Twitter, where I'm at RetroJ, but the O is a 0, or Instagram, where it's the same handle, RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and you can follow James Dowles over here. The meme of the week is, let's just respond to it. I don't know what it is. Ha 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 ha. Or, oh no, that's horrible. But before I go, my friends, I just want to say one thing. I hope that you, listening to this video, I hope that you're treating yourself with love and respect, because you deserve all of the best things in life, all right? And don't let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise. You are a massive legend. I want you to go out there and smash your life goals today. I believe in you, and you need to believe in yourself as well. Come on, you can do this. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome, and I will see you soon after my holiday. Peace. I finally rest.